Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Yuval Temam, and I'm leading the ecosystem and alliances within Amdocs. Before I start my session, I will first of all thank for Layer 123 for a very fantastic gala dinner event that has been held yesterday. So, applause for them for this great event. We have been shortlisted there in the partner program as a nominees, actually shortlisted. I do assume that next time we'll be able to take this prize, but it was a very nice, impressive event, and congratulations for VMware for taking the first award. So, what is the network is open? What about the journey for the ONAP? Okay, everyone is talking about this in the industry, and we're trying to have some sort of content with this kind of perceptions. So I would like to take it in a wider perspective for the beginning, and then we'll be able, of course, to talk about the program as a program. So we all know about the transformation of the network. We can argue about if it's fast enough, it's not fast enough. Can we do something else to bring it on in a different manner? But guys, it's happening, okay? It's happening. I don't think that we have any other opportunity but to join this kind of not can argue about revolution or evolution, that's not will be the case, but this is happening. And we should, as an industry, to afford ourselves to be part of this one and to be very relevant to this kind of change as much as we want to give the added value for our customers. So that's exactly what we are doing in Amdocs. And the transformation becomes very crucial when we're talking about orchestration. Okay, we know about the traditional network. Appliances, very simple, just monitor, everything is quite straightforward. Now, when this kind of chain is becoming much more relevant, we can see as some sort of island about self-contained changes like an SD-WAN. Okay, it's a self-contained, it's some sort of things that come basically from the customers directly to the CSPs. So you cannot run with it. It's a fact. And it's more important for us is to be part of this kind of change and be able to understand this kind of island of very fast, rapid changes within the industry. So again, I think it's bigger than every company, and each and every company that we guys presenting. The story is bigger than us. Okay, and I think that it's very important for us to be aligned in order to bring the added value as fast as we can to the market and be able to, again, to create some sort of added value for us and for our customers. So complexity, orchestration, and interoperability, these are the key facts that we see as part of this kind of change. And for each and every domain, we are just working very tough in order to bring them into a line. So where do we see ourselves as an Amdocs? Okay, we know and everyone probably familiar with business support systems and OSS that comes from our side. We know that there is a different way that we be able to implement a new services right now. This kind of the requirements that comes from the consumer side or from the enterprise is something that it's inevitable. And it's good, it's a blessing change. And that's exactly what we are be able to do, to be the layer between the requirements that comes from outside into the environment, the flexibility, the technology that is being emergent change. Be able to talk about 5G and small cells backhaul, cloud, NFV, SDN, all the changes that we'll be able to see. We'll be able to take and fulfill a services directly by a business logic that starts from the customer, disintegrate this kind of service directly to the network. And this is exactly the layer that we sit, the service layer. Okay? So along with our fulfillment of services from the BSS, OSS, also from the orchestration side. So there you have the component of end-to-end service orchestration, or maybe also domain orchestration. Quite depend on the variety in the market, in the solution that we'll be able to take care. So that's the position for us in Amdocs, and this is actually the things that we'll be able to cope and to handle with. So now the story about the ONAP. I rest assured that most of you are familiar with the consortium, and we are leading very dominantly a lot of changes and influencing on this platform. It's a very blessing one. It's a new emerged way of thinking about what will be the orchestration, following so many changes in the industry. In this way, everyone be able to contribute their knowledge and their capabilities, whether it's at POCs or any kind of integration, to this kind of platform. And that's exactly what we are doing. You'll be able to see also from a Magic Quadrant published by Gartner in February 2018 about the position of Amdocs. And we are contributing and working right now about these kind of opportunities. This is a very, very important thing, and we do believe that that will be the platform that take the industry one step ahead from each and every, a local initiative that can be. This is just the ability to work with all the people together. So real-time policy-driven automation, innovative new services, and rapid creation of new services, these are the main goals of this platform. And all the time it's been evolving and changing according to different use cases that we'll be able to see in the industry. And that's the case for the ONAP. As for the ecosystem of the ONAP, so around 65% of the industry has been taking part for some way or another in this platform. Whether we're talking about in operators or we're talking about vendors, okay? In a way that, again, we'll be able to take this kind of two-directional, technology-wise and business-wise into a one platform. And that's exactly what we are doing, working together in order to bring new technologies and new capabilities of the network. So we're taking part both in the governing board and also for the technical steering committee, also for the use cases, in a way that we'll be able to, again, to be able to listen to the market in order to understand what will be the most important and relevant change that we should care or take care after. Moving on into a standardization open source system. So this is very important. Again, we'll be able to disintegrate this big change of ecosystem and standardization into different, of course, there's a different groups that working, and we as an Amdocs as a company that, of course, contributing to each and every one in a different perspective, a different domain, whether we're talking about northbound interfaces, southbound, deployment between the component. Okay, there's a lot of changes and challenges, actually, that should be taken care of, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're sitting in these committees, be able to understand, be able to bring out of our knowledge about different deployment of services and fulfillment into this kind of community. And that's exactly the way that Amdocs thinking, to be part of a community that influence about the industry, okay? Not a standalone player. We're taking everything and we'll be part of all this kind of change as a company together with the community. Another perspective, let's say, about partnership, which is much more dedicated one, but this is a very long-term relationship that we have with Microsoft. We had a different press release about it, and we see basically two domain areas where we'll be able to converge the solutions. So the first, of course, is relevant for the ONAP. So now, these days, we're deploying a solution based on ONAP on top of Azure infra and cloud. This is very important because it's open a lot new different possibilities to our clients as well as for Microsoft clients. So I don't know if you know, but for example, from their side of working just with the Azure application, and we're all familiar with different IT application, they holding around 300 applications that related to the network, which is amazing by itself. What we're trying right now to do is to bring on into some sort of commonality, to be part of the big vision of ONAP and to be able to play together with different flexibilities, capabilities as in a wider solution than ever. So one perspective, it's ONAP on Azure. The second perspective, it's a cloud fusion, which means that we'll be able to have an end-to-end service orchestration as far as we related also to the cloud. For us, it's agnostic. It's another resource to be able to manage and to handle and to fulfill. So again, the variety of possibilities, whether we're talking about implementation on the edge, data centers, public and private cloud, That's the way that we give this kind of flexibility to see what will be the next stage that will be much more convenient for the market to move on, but we give this kind of palette of capabilities to the different implementation within our customers. All right? Okay, a couple of words about the partner program itself. So the ecosystem, of course, is a wider thing, as I just explained, but we also take care about what we're doing with our partners. And this is a very, very accurate program that we be able to extend it according to different relationship and understanding of the needs that comes also from the field. So we're taking this kind of knowledge and we're trying to build something in order to be much more proactively to the industry, if I can say so. So this is a very simple, phrase of establishing an NFV ecosystem governed by a partner program with quick onboarding of meaningful partners to reach the best solution readiness in the market. Exactly, the readiness is the most important thing to bring on. So we'll be able to sit and just wait for POCs to come, and then they have a lot of debates about what should be implemented and what will be the best way to implement it. But we're taking one step ahead. We already deployed around 30 VNFs in different flavors into a certification process that we're doing within Amdocs. Different environments. So the reports are available. And once we be able to come to customers and be able to present it as something which is deployed de facto in some sort of environment, that's exactly what we are heading to. And that's exactly the partner program that we are engaging. Okay? So this is a very big slide about partnership, and it's very nice. I have to say that it's quite dependent on the level of intimacy that we'll be able to see and to join according to the strategy that is part of what we are doing and what the partner is doing. So it's not just a program, just take everything as a fact, but it's something that we define with some sort of competitive edge with each and every vendor that we're working. So you'll be able to see different domains, and naturally everyone sits next to each other, but for us it's very important to take the added value for each and every vendor and leverage it. Okay? We have the perspective of the platform of the orchestration. So naturally we'll be able to see what are the flexibilities and capabilities from the perspective also of the operators. And that's exactly what we see. We're articulating our message with the customers according to understanding about unique value proposition that comes also from the vendors. So different domains, as you'll be able to see here, but this is a very important way, again, to convey the simplicity of having different vendors on the prem, on cloud, wherever. Okay. So what is the program? So the program is being changed, and sometimes it can be just a marketing engagement. Something it's a technical, and this is the change from our side for the last 1.5 years to bring on proactively technology drive into this process. So we're actually moving from pipeline into platform. We do believe in platform. We had a lot of discussion about flexibility that we'll be able to see, of course, also in the cloud. The things is being already done by our side. Okay? So we start, and this is just part of the things that we have done. As I mentioned, we're already on board around 30 VNFs. We are basically taking these kind of VNFs, and we have a very rigorous way to implement some sort of baseline in order to bring the VNF to some sort of building blocks into the future solution. So we know that the solution from the side of the operator is varied according to different requirements from his side. Nevertheless, configuration, life cycle management, closed loop scenario like healing and scaling, this is a very basic things to do. That's exactly what we're starting to do, or we're doing actually, in different vendors in order to have some sort of rigorous basis. Okay? So first it goes onboarding, when the traditional way, which is very painful about onboard different solutions. And we moved to platform, which is an hosted environment, okay, cloud-based, that we give also the visibility of orchestration to our vendors. Not mentioning the operators, of course. But this guy gives some sort of simplicity before deployment, before any POC, about the way that we'll be able to pick and choose different services. All right? So this is something that we are doing, and we're just heading to a marketplace of different VNFs in a way that, as I mentioned before, each and every customer will be able to pick specific service or a combination of services, service chaining, and so on from the different vendors. So this is very, very important. This is happening, and this is something that we are now addressing to the market. Next stage for us is to take this kind of building blocks and to have some sort of portfolio of use cases, whether it's based on something that we know for the community, and we just need to implement, and we, again, as I mentioned, part of it, or based on what we have done before of that with our customers, different POCs, different deployments. So that way, again, we'll be able to accelerate the process, which is very tough today. And that's what we are doing, accelerating the readiness of the system, accelerating the exposure of what we know about the partner, the uniqueness, and bringing all this kind of information to our customers and saying, guys, that's the situation. You need to choose whatever you want. And I can help you to understand what's going on. And this is a very important approach, not mentioning the self-service, multi-vendor, in a way that each and every vendor will be able to accelerate the process itself by being part of this environment. So we're wide open, we're part of community, no lock-in from the side of the orchestration, but there's a lot of know-how about what the ONAP should look like, and again, part of the contribution about things that we have done already in different customer environments. But this is very important, to bring it as a platform and to accelerate all the process. So the partner program is basically, again, wider than just the technologies I just mentioned. It's also comprised commercial side, okay, about all the type of the engagement that we wish to have, reselling, cross-selling, doesn't matter. And of course, marketing activities. So this is something that we'll be able to bring a full-blown solution to the customer. Again, from the perspective of orchestration and end-to-end service, we'll be able also to take this one, and I assure you that familiar with the service integration capabilities that Amdocs holding, we'll be able to take everything in full ownership and become a prime in this kind of project. Again, quite dependent of the requirements, no pressure on no one, but this is something that we'll be able to do. And we wide open our capabilities to have different levels of engagement. So that's another important thing to just mention. So the key takeaways from this one is ONAP itself as an environment. We do believe in ONAP. We're contributing. We have a lot of feedback from the environment. Everyone is feeding this kind of important platform, and we're taking part of it, learning a lot of it, but also contribute to this kind of environment and give the community, again, back the knowledge that has been gained by us in the field. Now, this is a very important way to see a wider perspective of bringing a solution to the market. Leading contribution in standardization. So we have a standardization body. We have an open source community, as you just saw. Very important to be all the time aligned with what's going on in the market, be able to listen. Very important, not just to have our side, but also to listen what's going on from the side of the market and our partners, and of course our customers, and to bring a unified, as much as we can, solution. Open network alliances lead harmonized diversities. Again, different changes that comes from different directions, emerging technology. Now we see going around the 5G and the multi-access edge computing. There's a lot of things around it. Artificial intelligence, which is a very important part within orchestration and capability to learn, understand, and fulfill the right services and to be able to follow up changes on a runtime. That's exactly what we are heading to and doing right now. With that, I will thank you for your participation. Thank you very much.